Being a comedian is the hardest career path. By far. To be a comedian, you have to be funny. And most people are not funny at all. And I use the term most people loosely. I'd say upwards of 95% of people are not funny at all. And perhaps I'm part of the 95% of people who aren't funny, but it really depends on who you ask. Because if you ask my mom, I'm the funniest person alive. If you ask my dad, he couldn't give two shits as long as I have a job. You ask my friends, I'm a comedian. But if you ask a stranger, they have no idea who the fuck I am. So as a comedian, besides have to be funny, you know, you also have to like public speaking. Which is crazy because nobody likes public speaking. Especially in front of like a large audience, like hundreds and thousands of people. Alright, look, I'm exaggerating. I know it's more like 20 people, maybe 10. They're all drunk and quite incoherent and have no idea what's going on. But that's besides the point. Alright. So, I was one of those psychopaths in school who liked, public speaking. And my teachers would always ask, hey, who here likes public speaking? Raise your hand. So I was one of two kids in the class to raise my hand. And one time, my teacher got curious and she asked me, why do you like public speaking? So I told her, I like to be the center of attention. She told me, that's quite narcissistic of you. I told her, don't forget egotistical. I said, look, you're a teacher. You must know exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody here wants to hear you speak, but they have to. And she didn't think that was very funny. She didn't find the humor in my jokes. She also didn't think my comments were very nice. So from that point on, she failed me. Numerous times. Look, maybe I'm a comedian, or perhaps I'm just a sarcastic asshole. To me, they're one and the same. On top of all that insanity, you also as a comedian have to enjoy getting up on stage in front of all that audience and telling jokes. And sometimes you fall flat and you hear nothing but silence. And any sane person would register in the head, look, I'm telling these jokes, they're not hitting, I'm just hearing silence. Maybe I should go get a real job, However, comedians are rather psychotic, so they stay up on stage until they hear a laugh. Let me tell you, it's not easy to make people laugh. There's no set formula, okay? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That only works in mathematics, okay? You just plug in the numbers and boom, you got your answer. Yeah, it's nice and easy. Perfect, Hell yeah. No, it doesn't work like that in comedy. There's no set formula to make people laugh. Like if you use this joke with this facial expression, with that delivery, maybe it equals a laugh in North Carolina. But God forbid you use it in LA, forget about it, alright? People just get offended and they tell you how they feel abused by the jokes you made and the comments, and then they whip out their phones and they label you as a racist, alright? And next thing you know, you're on New York Times, Huffington Post, and all the other social media outlets, and everybody hates you, alright? Next thing you know, your career's over before it even started. You gotta be kidding me, right? That's just the life of a comedian. People drag you across the mud, and it's not rewarding. But that's what makes comedians psychotic. This just keeps repeating for 10 to 15 years. Alright? Until one night, somebody sees you and they're like, you know what? You're actually pretty funny. And you're like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I'm about to catch my big break. But then they throw you onto a sitcom. Even though Amazon Prime, Netflix, and Hulu are the big things and nobody actually watches TV anymore, they still put you on a sitcom, which is great because now you can't tell your own jokes, but you can help deliver everybody else's. Alright? Great. So if you ever hear somebody say they want to be a comedian, just remember, they're rather psychotic. So pray for them, because even though it's completely useless and it absolutely will not help the poor bastard, at least you can feel good about yourself that you tried your best by doing some silly prayer. Alright, I'm going to go talk to some strangers so they have a vague idea of who I am, and perhaps I can persuade them that I'm a little bit funny. So, I'll see you. I realize the way I look right now, I look like a rejected member of a British boy band that was like around for 6 months and then we disbanded, and now it's 10 years later and I grew up, but I never actually got over the fact that I was in a boy band and we didn't succeed because I clearly still have the haircut and I dress like it, except now I have a beard and I kind of like filled out my face. Times have been hard.